Hello all, myself Dr. Charmi R. Thakkar from Vadodara, Gujarat, and I welcome you all to Homeopathic Audio Book Club, where we discuss book summary of different homeopathic books. So let's quickly start the scene. This is the second video of book Ball and Pneumonia. In the first video, we have discussed in general the guidelines as to what to look for in the cases of pneumonia, the method of case taking, potency selection, and what should be the repetition of medicine. So let's quickly see what's there here in the second part. As we have already seen, Bowlen Pneumonia book is divided into 5 chapters. The first one, Introduction in General, we already discussed in the first video. In the second video, next 2 chapters, Incipient Stage and Frankly Developed Pneumonia will be discussed. Main focus is to be kept is on what are the key indicated remedy according to Dr. Bolland, and my main interest is to show the points on what should be seen while taking a case. He had also given guidelines regarding potency selection and repetition of medicine as he has used in his 20 years of practice. Incipient stage means the first stage of congestion in pneumonia, where one is still in doubt of pneumonia to be suspected or any other diseases like viral or bacterial throat infection. For major drug he had discussed for this stage are aconite, belladonna, ferrum phos and ipecac. So, in the book, he has given in detail symptoms of pneumonia in incipient stage about the 4 main drugs. Friends, here I am not telling you symptoms in detail of each drug, but from this detailed drug description, I have made a table for comparison where you can compare the symptoms of each drug. But what actually I have to show is how we have to take the case. What are the points which we have to inquire or look for while taking a case of pneumonia? So to start with, we have to see onset, which can be very sudden or acute or slow and gradual. What is the cause behind it? Here we have to see the weather correlation, whether it be a summer pneumonia or winter or spring, autumn. What is the pace of disease? Is it acute, rapid, or very slow? What is the constitution of the patient? Whether it is strong, robust, or paler, or it is a child case. What is the temperature? Whether it's very high, it's medium, or it's very low. And what is the type of pulse? How is the mental makeup of the individual? Whether he is very excitable, whether irritable, whether he want to be left alone, whether he want the company, he needs to be pampered, he is in the delirious state, he sees many different faces, fancies, etc. We have to see the type of pulse, whether it's full, bounding, rapid, the appearance of the face be flushed, bright red, paler, anemic. We have to ask about the feeling in the mouth, whether it's burning, dry, or wet, and the thirst. Patient is intensely thirsty or thirstless. We want cold water or hot water. What is the type of taste in the mouth? In Ferrum Phos, we get sweetest taste of whatever the patient eat. We have to examine the pupil, whether it is contracted or dilated. Yes, in aconite the pupil is contracted, and in belladonna it is dilated with the feeling of photophobia, and patient want to be in the dark room. We have to see for the PQRS symptoms. Like for example, in aconite we will see that entire body is hot, but the extremity is cold. In the belladonna, we will be having associated intense throbbing headache. In the ipecac, we'll see there'll be nausea associated with every complaint, and the patient wants fresh air and is aggravated in the stuffy rooms. We have to also see the type of cough, which is quickly developing short dry cough or in season to dry cough, with the irritation behind the sternum or irritation down in the chest, whether it's very suffocative or not. And we have to see the location of consolidation, like in the left side or in the right side, or in the upper zone, in the lower zone. We have to see the position in sleep, like the patient is aggravated lying on the affected side or it's ameliorated lying on the affected side, in what position he is feeling better, whether he is propped up, lying on the back, or want to lift off. We have to see the type of sputum, whether it is blood streaked, it's not blood streaked, is it scanty. We have to see the time correlation, like after the exposure to any type of bad weather, the patient is getting affected in first 6 hour, 12 hour, 24 hour, or later after 36 hour. Like in aconite, we can expect a sudden appearance of symptom after an exposure. In belladonna too, while in ferrum it may start little later. We have to look for the tongue, the coating on the tongue, whether it's white, yellow, heavily coated, clean, dry, not coated. And we have to see for the symptoms during fever. Also have to see the time of aggravation, whether it's late evening or midnight or early morning or afternoon. And is there any associated complaint, like in belladonna? There can be acute hyperesthesia of the chest on the affected site and congestive violent headache. In ipecac, with irritation in the nostril, violent sneezing episode, nausea and vomiting can be the associated symptom. So this was all about case taking for. So to revise for you again, we have to see for the onset, the pace of the disease, the intensity of the disease, the side of the lung affected, the appearance of the patient, the appearance of the face, the mental makeup of the patient, the thirst, the feeling in the mouth, and about the symptoms during fever, any associated symptoms, or any other symptoms. Now, if we go for the potency selection and repetition issue, Bolland has always preferred high potency. He says in less than 30 potency, only symptoms may get little bit better, but the disease will progress. So if we are very sure about the selection of the medicine, then we have to go for 30 or higher than 30. Mostly he go for 1M, 10M, CM, and in the first 4 hour he advised to give medicine 1 hourly, then 2 hourly for the next 12 to 24 hour till the temperature is right down, and then we can discontinue the medicine. So now we move to the frankly developed pneumonia stage. Patient will run a good temperature here, and there will be obvious physical sign in the chest like difficulty in breathing, cough and pain in chest, with a frank consolidation in the chest, and you are sure that you are dealing with pneumonia. The common medicine which Bolland described for frankly developed pneumonia is bryonia, phosphorus, veratrum viridae, chelidonium. Almost in the same line of incipient pneumonia, in the frankly developed pneumonia also, we have to see the onset, which can be gradual or acute. We have to check the temperature, which can be very high, as in veratrum viridae, with intense pulse, as if the heart is bounding, or in bryonia, which can be up to 103 maybe, with a full strong pulse. We have to see the appearance, where in brownia it is congested, heavy, sleepy, swollen. In phosphorus it will be bright red or flushed. We have to see the appearance of the face, which can be dusky with bluish look in brownia. In chelidonium it can be dusky with yellowish tinge. In phosphorus it can be congested red. In veratrum, congested red but more livid. The perspiration in bryonia can be hot and damp. In phosphorus, it can be moist but little less than brownia. In Veratrum viridae, the profuse in beads, but it does not fall the temperature. We have to see whether there is any associated complaints like headache, any throat issues. In Brahmanya, there will be intense frontal headache which settles to the eye and which is aggravated by least motion like sitting, talking. We have to observe the tongue. Same here like in Brahmanya, there can be thick white coating. Phosphorus earlier dry, red is later white or whitish. Veratrum viridae we have two type of tongue. It can be thick yellowish coating or tongue with thick coat and bright red streak down the center. In Chelidonium, it can again be thick yellowish coating. We have to see the mouth which can be dry or moist. We have to see the thirst which can be excessive or thirstlessness, and patient may desire cold water as in case of bryonia, and chelidonium patient desire hot water. We have to see the taste which can be bitter, or earlier we have seen that it can be sweeties. As we have already seen in the incipient stage, we have to look for the mind symptom like in bryonia. The patient will be heavy, dull, dislike being disturbed, irritable, the aggravation from visitors, and he'll be very capricious. So what he desires, he will refuse later on. In phosphorus, the patient will be awake, worried, anxious. In the early stage, difficulty is out of proportion to the acute physical sign. In the veratrum viridae, the patient can be in the violent delirium at early stage, and he sees faces, figures, intense excitements, etc. In chelidonium, the patient is lethargic, don't want to move or disturb, but when disturbed, they become snappy and spiteful. We have to see the side affected, whether it's right, it's left, it's upper zone, middle zone, lower zone. We have to also see any PQRS symptom present in the patient. While our case taking, we have to look for the PQRS. So, in bryonia, there can be like sharp pleuritic pain of pleuropneumonia, which is aggravated by least motion and better by lying on affected side. In phosphorus, there can be the tremulous hand, facial muscles, alenazy are twitching, position of comfort is propped up with chin tilted up and head thrown back. So the patient will sit with propped up head with a chin tilted up and head thrown back. In veratrum viridae, the patient will taste everything sweets. Picture is same as belladonna, but here the skin is livid with the beads of sweat. In belladonna, there was burning dry skin. Here there will be beads of sweat with livid skin. In chelidonium, the patient like to sit up and lean forward and keep still. We have to see the type of respiration, which can be short, shallow, seriously impaired. In the later stage, the patient can be dusky with low muttering delirium, talks of business and want to go home in bryonia. In phosphorus, it can be anxious and want someone to sit with them and give them physical contact. We have to ask for the thermal, where the patient can be hot as in bryonia or chilly as in phosphorus. We have to see the weather correlation. Bryonia's pneumonia are more common in spring, means it is in summer, where spring goes from uh, later part of March to the later part of June, which is a hot climate. The veratrum viridae pneumonias and the phosphorus pneumonias are more in winter. We have to see the type of cough, where in bryonia it can be acute stabbing pain on coughing. Pain is round towards axilla or back. In phosphorus, the cough can be tormenting with burning in the chest. In the veratrum viridae, There can be little chest pain on coughing, but not stabbing or burning kind. In chelidonium, pain is more towards the front and go right toward the scapular region. We have to see the type of sputum, where in bryonia it can be very sticky and difficult to expel, and it's dusky since the beginning. In phosphorus, from the third or fourth day, it becomes bright blood streaked, later rusty, watery, scanty. In Veratrum viridae, the sputum is not very dusky, not very bright, but difficult to expectorate. In Chelidonium, the sputum is very profuse, but not dusky and easy to expectorate. We have to see for the modalities in the case where the patient is aggravated by sitting up and it causes giddiness in bryonia. In correlation to the time of aggravation in bryonia, it tends to be more about at 9 o'clock in the evening. Chelidonium has two periods of aggravation. It has one at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and another at about 4 o'clock in the morning. So there is double periodicity in 24 hours. As far as phosphorus and veratrum viridae is concerned, there are no definite hour of maximum intensity, but both tend to become worse in the evening just before nightfall, where there is a period of increased excitement, increased nervousness, and increased apprehension. Well, these are the four major drugs of frankly developed pneumonias. As regard to the potency selection and repetition, Bolland was always in favor of high potency. When one is very sure enough for the prescription, he used to give 10 ml or 50 ml, 2 hourly, total 6 doses. Then hardly any dose will be required and the crisis will come soon. So 2 hourly 6 doses. So in 12 hours the crisis will come. But if the crisis does not follow, then one need to repeat 3 more doses at 4-hour interval and almost everything will be clear and no more doses will be required. So this was all about the frankly developed pneumonia. So this is a reminder from the part 1 of the video where we have discussed in the general guideline that in any cases of pneumonia we have to see the actual pathological picture which help us to diagnose the case. Plus to diagnose the remedy we have to see the individual reaction to that pathology and that will finalize our medicine. So we have here discussed and seen lot of points where we can actually individualize the patient from the actual pathological picture and reach to our final remedy. Okay, thank you. So thank you for listening to me. We are in Homeopathic Audio Book Club. If you like this video, please share it, subscribe it, press the bell icon to get the notification of more video. We'll again come soon with more videos and soon with the third part of ball and pneumonia. If you have any queries, if you have any comment, you can write in the comment box or also email to me personally at the email address homeopathicaudiobookclub@gmail.com. All your suggestions are most welcome. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe.